They say the coldest men are the ones who love too hard once. Ji-hoon Kang proved that theory. For 3 years he felt nothing. Watched men bleed without blinking. Built an empire on ice. Then a chef with Peckham scars and steady hands walked through his crime scene like it was Tuesday, and suddenly cold wasn't enough anymore. This is the story of what happens when a glacier meets fire. When a woman who survived her father's murder looks at Seoul's most feared man and says, "You'll have to work harder to scare me." When one moment of eye contact across a bloodstained floor changes everything. But before I tell you how she melted him, you need to understand what froze him in the first place. Because some men don't choose ice. They're buried in it. Ji-hoon Kang doesn't feel anymore. That's what makes him dangerous. 33 years old, head of Seoul's Dong Demon operations. A man so controlled that rivals call him the Glacier. Not because he's calm. Because nothing reaches him. He watches men beg and feels nothing. Sees blood and feels nothing. Built an empire on the principle that emotion is weakness, and weakness gets you killed. Tonight he's collecting a debt. A restaurant owner in Itaewon who thought he could skip payments. Thought wrong. Ji-hoon sits in the back booth watching his men work. Methodical. Efficient. The owner's crying, pleading about his family. Ji-hoon's face doesn't change. He's heard it all before. Felt nothing then. Feels nothing now. Then the door opens. A woman walks in. Dark skin gleaming under fluorescent lights. Box braids pulled back in a high ponytail. She's wearing chef's whites, an apron still dusted with flour. She looks at the scene. The crying owner. The enforcers. The blood on the floor. And she doesn't scream. Doesn't run. Just walks straight to the kitchen like she owns the place. Who the hell is that? Ji-hoon asks. New head chef. One of his men says. Started 2 weeks ago. From London. Ji-hoon stands. Follows her into the kitchen. She's at the prep station. Hands moving with precision. Chopping vegetables like nothing's happening in the dining room. Like men aren't bleeding 15 feet away. You should leave, he says. She doesn't look up. I'm working. There's a situation. I can see that. She finally glances at him. Her eyes are the darkest brown he's ever seen. Steady. Unafraid. You're here about money. Mr. Kim owes you. That's got nothing to do with my mise en place. Her accent wraps around the Korean words in a way that makes his chest feel strange. Tight. You're not scared, he observes. Should I be? She sets down her knife. Meets his eyes directly. I grew up in Peckham. Saw worse than this before I was 12. You want to scare me, you'll have to work harder. Something shifts in Ji-hoon's chest. Something that feels dangerously like interest. He's looked at thousands of faces over the years. Read fear, read calculation, read lies. He's never seen this. This complete absence of submission. What's your name? Simone. Simone Adeyemi. She picks up her knife again. And unless you're here to talk about my jollof rice special, I've got work to do. Ji-hoon should walk away. Should handle the debt and forget her. Instead, he finds himself leaning against the counter. Watching her hands move. You always this calm? You always this interested in chefs? I'm not interested. Then why are you still here? She slides vegetables into a pan. The sizzle fills the silence. Go handle your business. I'll be here when you're done pretending you don't feel things. The words land like a knife between ribs. For the first time in 3 years, Ji-hoon feels something. Anger. No, not anger. Something sharper. Something that makes his jaw clench. You don't know anything about me. I know men like you. She adds spices, the scent filling the kitchen. Cumin and heat. Cold on the outside because something broke you on the inside. You think if you feel nothing, nothing can hurt you. That's not strength. That's survival. Ji-hoon's hands curl into fists. He should leave. Should forget this conversation. Instead, he asks, what makes you an expert? I watched my father die in front of me when I was 14. Stabbing over territory. Gang violence. He bled out on our kitchen floor while I held pressure on the wound. Her voice doesn't waver. So yeah, I know what it looks like when someone shuts down to survive. The difference is I chose to feel again. You're still choosing ice. She plates the vegetables. Garnishes with precision. Then she looks at him, really looks at him, and Ji-hoon feels exposed in a way he hasn't felt in years. The debt, she says quietly. How much does he owe? 8 million won. Give him 2 weeks. I'll make sure he pays. Why would you do that? Because he gave me a job when no one else would. Because I pay my debts, even ones that aren't mine. She holds his gaze. 2 weeks. If he doesn't pay, come back. Do what you need to do. But give him the chance. Ji-hoon should refuse. Should maintain the fear that keeps his empire running. Instead he nods once. 2 weeks. He walks out. Tells his men to stand down. Ignores their confused looks. Gets in his car and sits in silence, trying to understand why his hands are shaking. The next morning he's still thinking about her. About eyes that didn't flinch. About a voice that called him out without fear. About the way she moved through that kitchen like violence was just background noise. He calls his second Minjae. The restaurant in Itaewon. I want information on the chef. Simone Adeyemi. Boss. Just get it. The report comes back within hours. Simone Adeyemi, 29, British-Nigerian. Worked in London restaurants for 8 years before relocating to Seoul 6 months ago. No criminal record. No connections to any organizations. Clean. But there's a note at the end. Father killed in gang violence, London 2009. She was present. Gave testimony that helped convict 3 men. Entered foster care. Worked her way through culinary school. Built a career despite everything. Ji-hoon reads it twice. She wasn't lying. She knows survival. Knows what it costs. And she still chose to feel. He goes back to the restaurant 3 days later. Evening service. The dining room is full. He sits at the bar, orders nothing, just waits. Simone emerges from the kitchen eventually, checking on tables. She spots him. Her expression doesn't change, but she walks over. 2 weeks isn't up yet. I'm not here for the debt. Then why are you here? Ji-hoon doesn't have an answer. Or he does, but it's too honest. Too vulnerable. The food. People say it's good. People are right. She studies him. You want to try it? Or you want to keep sitting there looking dangerous? Can I do both? The corner of her mouth lifts. Almost a smile. I'll send something out. The dish that arrives 15 minutes later is unlike anything he's expected. Jollof rice but elevated. Plated with precision. The first bite hits his tongue and Ji-hoon closes his eyes. Heat and complexity. Comfort and fire. It tastes like something he can't name. Something that makes his chest ache. Simone appears beside him. Well, it's perfect. I know. She leans against the bar. My grandmother's recipe. Took me years to get it right. The secret is the Scotch bonnet peppers and patience. You can't rush good jollof. You have to let it develop. You're talking about more than rice. Maybe. She looks at him. You came back. That says something. What does it say? That you're curious. That maybe the glacier isn't as frozen as everyone thinks. Ji-hoon sets down his fork. You researched me. Of course I did. Man walks into my kitchen in the middle of a shakedown. I make it my business to know who he is. Ji-hoon Kang. Dong Demon Operations. Reputation for being completely emotionless. They say you once watched a man beg for his life for 20 minutes and never changed expression. That's true. And yet you gave Mr. Kim 2 weeks because I asked. Because a chef you just met said please. Don't subscribe if you're just here for the drama. This story goes deeper than that. Maybe I was having a good day. You don't have good days. You have control days and days you control even harder. She straightens. Finish your meal. I've got a kitchen to run. But Ji-hoon, next time you come back, and you will come back, be honest about why. She walks away before he can respond. Ji-hoon stares at his plate, at the food that tastes like something dangerous. Like feeling. Like the beginning of something he knows he should avoid. He doesn't avoid it. He comes back 5 days later. Then 3 days after that. Always evening service. Always sitting at the bar. Sometimes he orders food. Sometimes he just watches her work. Through the kitchen window he can see her moving. Commanding her station. Fierce and focused. On the 4th visit she comes out during a lull. Sits beside him without invitation. You're becoming a regular. The food's good. The food's an excuse. She turns to face him. What do you really want, Ji-hoon? The question hangs between them. He could lie, could deflect. Instead, he finds himself being honest. I don't know. You make me feel things I haven't felt in years. I don't know if that's good or dangerous. Both. It's both. She's close enough that he can smell her perfume. Something warm. Amber and vanilla. You scare people for a living. I should be running. Instead, I'm sitting here wondering what you look like when you actually smile. I don't smile. Everyone smiles. You just forgot how. She reaches out slowly. Her fingertips brush his jaw. The touch is electric. Ji-hoon freezes, every muscle locked. No one touches him. No one gets this close. But he doesn't pull away. See, she whispers. You're still in there. Under all that ice. Ji-hoon's hand comes up. Catches her wrist. Not rough, just firm. Holding her there. You should be careful. Why? You going to hurt me? No. But I'm not safe. Safe is boring. Safe is what I had in London. Safe didn't make me feel alive. Her pulse beats under his fingers. Strong and steady. You make me feel alive, Ji-hoon. Even though you shouldn't. Even though this is probably the worst idea I've ever had. It is. Then why haven't you let go? He doesn't have an answer. Or he does, but it's the same one. Because she's right. Because under the ice he's still alive. Because her touch is the first thing that's felt real in 3 years. He releases her wrist. Stands abruptly. I should go. You always run when things get real. I don't run. You're running right now. She stands too. It's okay. I'm patient. I waited 5 years to perfect my jollof. I can wait for you to figure out you're allowed to feel things. Ji-hoon walks out without responding. Gets in his car. Sits in darkness with his hands gripping the steering wheel. His chest is tight. His breathing uneven. Everything he's built is based on control. On distance. On ice. And Simone is fire. Melting everything. He doesn't go back for a week. Throws himself into work. Territory disputes. Collection runs. The mechanics of empire. But every quiet moment he thinks about her. About dark eyes that see through him. About a voice that calls him out. About hands that touched his face like he was human. Min-jae notices. Boss, you okay? Fine. You're distracted. People are noticing. I'm handling it. Is this about the chef? Because if she's a problem, we can. Don't. Ji-hoon's voice drops to ice. Don't finish that sentence. Min-jae backs off immediately. But the concern in his eyes is clear. Ji-hoon Kang doesn't get distracted. Doesn't get attached. And absolutely doesn't threaten his own men over a woman. Which means everything is changing whether Ji-hoon wants it to or not. 2 weeks exactly after he gave Mr. Kim the extension, Ji-hoon returns to the restaurant. Not for the debt. The owner paid in full 3 days ago. He's there because he can't stay away anymore. 'Cause Simone was right. He's curious. He's alive. And that's terrifying. She's waiting for him. Like she knew he'd come. She walks over as soon as he sits down. Right on time. The debt's paid. I know. That's not why you're here. She slides onto the stool beside him. Kitchen's closed. Service is over. It's just us. Simone. Tell me something real, Ji-hoon. Not the controlled version. Not the Glacier. The man underneath. He looks at her. Really looks. She's still in her chef's whites, hair pulled back, face free of makeup. She's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. And that fact alone makes him want to run. 3 years ago I was engaged. Her name was Yuna. We were planning a wedding. His voice comes out rough. Unused to honesty. She was killed. Wrong place, wrong time. A rival crew hit one of our locations. She was there meeting me for dinner. Caught in the crossfire. Simone's expression shifts. Softens. Ji-hoon. I held her while she died. Just like you held your father. And I promised myself I'd never feel that kind of pain again. So I stopped feeling everything. Built walls so high nothing could reach me. Became the Glacier because ice doesn't break. Ice melts, she says quietly. When it meets enough heat. I know. He meets her eyes. That's what scares me. You're fire, Simone. You're everything I've avoided for 3 years. And I don't know how to do this. Don't know how to let someone in without giving them the power to destroy me. She takes his hand, laces their fingers together. Then we figure it out together. Slowly. Honestly. I'm not asking you to melt overnight. I'm just asking you to stop running. What if I hurt you? What if you don't? She squeezes his hand. What if we're both brave enough to try? Ji-hoon looks at their joined hands. Dark skin against pale. Warmth against cold. Should feel wrong. Instead, it feels like the first right thing in years. I don't know how to do this. Start with dinner. Actual dinner. Not you watching me work. Not you sitting alone. We go somewhere. We talk. We figure out if this thing between us is real or just intensity and attraction. It's real, he says before he can stop himself. I've spent 3 years feeling nothing. I know the difference between nothing and this. Her smile breaks through like sunrise. Then pick me up tomorrow. 8 o'clock. And Ji-hoon, we're something that isn't designer intimidation. We're going somewhere that won't care about your reputation. He almost smiles. Almost. Where? My place. I'm cooking for you. Real food. Not restaurant service. Just us. The intimacy of that offer settles in his chest. Warm and terrifying. Okay. Okay. She stands still holding his hand. Now go. Before I do something impulsive like kiss you in front of the security cameras. Would that be bad? For your reputation? Probably. For us? Definitely not. Ji-hoon stands. Finds himself leaning closer. One kiss. No cameras. Just this. He kisses her softly. Carefully. Like she's something precious that might break. Her lips are warm. She tastes like spice and courage. When they break apart, Ji-hoon's breathing is uneven. His carefully constructed control is cracking. Tomorrow, she whispers. 8 o'clock. Don't make me wait. I won't. He walks out feeling like a different person. Like the ice inside him has shifted. Not melted completely. Not yet. But cracking. Letting light through. And for the first time in 3 years, Ji-hoon Kang thinks maybe that's okay. Maybe melting isn't weakness. Maybe letting someone in isn't the end. Maybe it's the beginning. The next evening, he stands outside her apartment building in Haebangkon at exactly 8 o'clock. He's wearing jeans and a simple black shirt. No designer labels. No intimidation. Just him. Simone buzzes him up. Her apartment is small but vibrant. African textiles on the walls. Books everywhere. The scent of cooking fills the space. She's in casual clothes, braids loose around her shoulders. She looks softer than in the kitchen. More vulnerable. You came, she says. You doubted me? A little. She pulls him inside. I thought maybe you'd wake up and decide this was too much. Too fast. Too dangerous. I did. Multiple times. I came anyway. She kisses him. Deeper than last night. Her hands slide into his hair. Ji-hoon's control wavers. He pulls her closer, backing her against the wall. The kiss turns hungry. Desperate. 3 years of nothing meeting the first person who makes him feel everything. They break apart breathing hard. Dinner's going to burn, she gasps. Let it. No. She pushes him back gently. Firmly. We do this right. We eat. We talk. We figure out if we can actually work outside of intensity. Ji-hoon steps back. His hands are shaking. You're right. I usually am. She straightens her clothes. Come on. I made a goosey soup. If you can handle the heat. Dinner is perfect. The food is rich and complex. The conversation flows easily. They talk about everything. Her childhood in London. His early years building the organization. Food. Music. Dreams they gave up. Dreams they're reconsidering. Why Seoul? He asks over dessert. London has better opportunities for chefs. London has my father's blood on the pavement. Has memories I couldn't escape. I needed distance. Needed somewhere that didn't know me as the girl whose dad died. She sets down her spoon. Seoul let me reinvent myself. Be just Simone. Not tragedy. Not survivor. Just me. And now I'm wondering if I can be all of it. The chef. The survivor. The woman falling for a dangerous man who's terrified of feeling things. If you're tired of surface-level romance, this isn't for you. This goes deeper. I am terrified, he admits. Of losing you. Of what it means to care about someone again. Of whether I'm even capable of being what you need. What do I need? Someone whole. Someone safe. Someone who won't get you killed. Simone reaches across the table. Takes his hand. I need someone honest. Someone real. Someone brave enough to try. That's you, Ji-hoon. The ice isn't who you are. It's what you built to survive. I'm not asking you to tear it all down tomorrow. I'm asking you to let me in slowly. Let me see the man underneath. Let me decide if the risk is worth it. And if you decide it's not, then we end this before anyone gets hurt. But something tells me that's not how this ends. How does it end? I don't know yet. That's the scary part. That's also the beautiful part. They move to her couch after dinner. Sit close but not touching. The space between them electric. Ji-hoon feels like he's standing on the edge of a cliff. One step forward is free fall. One step back is the ice. Yuna, he says suddenly, I need you to know. What I felt for her was real. I loved her. But it was different. Softer. Easier. What I feel with you is intense, Simone finishes. Like fire. Like standing too close to something that could burn you. Yes. I feel it too. This thing between us. It's not soft. It's not easy. But maybe that's because we're both people who survived fire. We know the heat. Know the scars. Maybe we need intense because gentle doesn't reach deep enough. Ji-hoon looks at her. This woman who walked into his life and demolished everything carefully constructed. Who demands honesty when everyone else accepts ice. Who sees him as human when he's convinced himself he's not. Stay, she says quietly. Tonight. Not for sex. Just stay. Let me fall asleep next to you. Let me see if you're real, or if I've imagined this whole thing. He should say no. Should maintain distance. Should protect both of them from the inevitable complications. Instead he nods. Okay. They move to her bedroom. She lends him clothes. They lie facing each other in darkness. Not touching. Just breathing in the same space. This is strange, he says. What is? Being here. Being vulnerable. Being human. Yeah. Her hand finds his in the darkness. You're allowed to be human, Ji-hoon. You're allowed to feel things. To want things. To be scared of things. That's not weakness. What is it? It's being alive. They fall asleep like that. Hands linked. Two people who survive different fires learning that maybe they can survive the heat between them too. Ji-hoon wakes before dawn. Simone is pressed against him, her breathing steady. He watches her sleep. Studies her face in the dim light filtering through curtains. She looks peaceful. Younger. Without the armor she wears in the kitchen. His phone vibrates. Min-jae. He carefully extracts himself from bed. Steps into the living room. This better be important, Ji-hoon says quietly. Boss, we have a situation. Lee Sang-ho's crew hit one of our collection spots. 2 of our guys are in the hospital. The ice returns instantly. Automatic. Protective. I'm on my way. Boss, they left a message. Said if you want to play house with your foreign girl, you better make sure your actual house is in order. Ji-hoon's jaw clenches. They mentioned her specifically? By description. They know, boss. Increase security around the restaurant. And Min-jae, prepare a response team. We handle this today. He ends the call. Turns to find Simone in the doorway, wrapped in a robe. Her eyes are clear. Alert. You heard, he says. Enough. She crosses her arms. They know about me. Yes. And now I'm a target. A way to get to you. I'll handle it. That's not what I asked. She steps closer. Tell me the truth. How bad is this? Ji-hoon wants to lie. Wants to protect her from the reality. But she demanded honesty. Bad. Lee Sang-ho runs the Gangnam operations. We've had a truce for 2 years. If he's breaking it, it means he thinks I'm vulnerable. Because of me. Because he's an idiot who's about to learn why people call me the Glacier. Simone studies his face. You're different now. Cold again. Like the man from the restaurant. That's who I need to be to keep you safe. No. She moves until they're inches apart. That's who you think you need to be. But Ji-hoon, you can be both. Cold when necessary. human when you're with me. They're not mutually exclusive. You don't understand this world. I understand men and violence better than you think. I watched my father try to be two people. The loving dad. The gang enforcer. Tore him apart. Don't let it tear you apart. What do you want me to do? Let them threaten you? Use you against me? I want you to handle your business. Protect what's yours. But don't shut me out because you're scared. Don't turn back into ice because feeling things is harder than being numb. Ji-hoon pulls her against him. Breathes in her scent. I can't lose you. I just found you. I can't do 3 more years of nothing. You won't lose me. But you have to trust that I'm strong enough to handle this. I survived my father's death. Foster care. Building a career in a foreign country. I'm not fragile. I know. Then stop trying to protect me from reality. Include me. Tell me what's happening. Let me decide if the risk is worth it. He pulls back enough to see her face. Lee Sang-ho is going to retaliate. Today. And it's going to be violent. Good. Violence I understand. Deception I don't. Just promise me one thing. Anything. Come back. Whatever you do today, come back to me. Don't let the ice take over completely. Ji-hoon kisses her. Hard and desperate. Trying to memorize the feeling. I promise. He leaves before the sun rises. Min-jae picks him up 3 blocks away. The drive to their headquarters is silent. Ji-hoon stares out the window watching Seoul wake up. Neon fading into daylight. The city that's been his kingdom and his prison. Boss, Min-jae says carefully. Are you sure about this? About her? It's making you a target. I've always been a target. This just gives them a different angle. But is she worth it? Worth the risk to the organization? Ji-hoon turns to him. 3 years ago I became a ghost. Effective. Feared. Empty. She makes me alive again. So yes, she's worth every risk. Min-jae nods. Doesn't push further. They arrive at headquarters. 15 of Ji-hoon's best men wait in the conference room. He walks in and the room goes silent. Lee Sang-ho broke the truce. Hit our people. Made threats against someone under my protection. Ji-hoon's voice is cold. Controlled. The Glacier returned. We respond today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. What's the play, boss? Asks Young-woo, his head of security. We hit 3 of his locations simultaneously. His gambling den in Gangnam. His karaoke front in Apgujeong. His distribution center in Sinsa. Maximum damage. Minimum casualties. This is about sending a message. And Lee himself? Leave him. He needs to see what happens when you test me. He needs to watch his empire crack. The men nod. They've seen this before. The Glacier at work. Precise. Brutal. Effective. They move out in 3 teams. Ji-hoon leads the distribution center hit himself. They breach at noon. The operation is textbook. In and out in 12 minutes. They destroy product worth millions. Leave Lee's men zip-tied but alive. The message is clear. By sunset, all 3 operations are complete. Lee Sang-ho's organization is crippled. Not destroyed but damaged enough that recovery will take months. And everyone knows who did it. Ji-hoon sits in his car afterward. Knuckles bloodied from the one fight that got physical. He feels the ice cracking again. The adrenaline fading. And underneath he feels sick. Tired. Ready to be human again. He texts Simone. It's done. Can I see you? Her response comes immediately. I'm at the restaurant. Back door. He arrives 20 minutes later. She's waiting outside, still in her chef's whites. She takes one look at his hands, his face, and pulls him inside to the kitchen. It's empty. Service hasn't started. She leads him to the sink. Runs warm water over his hands. The blood swirls down the drain. She works in silence, cleaning each knuckle carefully. Her touch is gentle. When she's done, she dries his hands with a towel and looks up at him. Are you okay? I don't know. Did you do what you needed to do? Yes. Lee won't bother us again. No one will. They know now. Know what? That I'll burn the city down before I let anyone hurt you. Simone cups his face. That's romantic and terrifying in equal measure. That's me. Romance and terror. She kisses him softly. I'm glad you came back. I was worried the ice would win. It almost did. Then I thought about you. About this. About having something worth being human for. Good. She rests her forehead against his. Because I need you human. I need you real. I can't love a glacier. You love me. The question hangs between them. Simone pulls back slightly. Meets his eyes. Yes. Stupid. It's fast. It's probably going to get me killed. But yes, I love you. Ji-hoon feels something crack completely inside him. The last piece of ice. The final wall. I love you too. I didn't think I could. Didn't think I had anything left. But I love you, Simone. Completely. Dangerously. They kiss in the empty kitchen, surrounded by the smell of spices and the memory of where they met, where she walked through his violence without flinching, where he first felt something after 3 years of nothing. What happens now? She asks when they break apart. Now we figure out how to do this. How to love each other in the middle of my world. How to build something real despite everything. That sounds hard. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Harder than building an empire? Much harder. Empires are easy. Love is terrifying. She laughs. The sound fills the kitchen. Then let's be terrified together. Over the next 3 months they learn each other. Ji-hoon comes to the restaurant most nights. Sometimes they talk. Sometimes they sit in comfortable silence while she works. He learns her rhythms. The way she tastes everything. The way she commands her kitchen. The fierce pride she takes in her food. She learns him too. The way he watches people. The careful control he maintains. The moments when the ice cracks and she can see the man underneath. She learns that he's funny in quiet ways. That he's surprisingly thoughtful. That he remembers everything she tells him. They spend nights at her apartment. Mornings at his penthouse. They argue about music and food and movies. She challenges him constantly. He pushes back. They find rhythm in the friction. You're stubborn, he says one night in her bed. You're controlling. We're a disaster. The best kind. But it's not all easy. His world keeps intruding. Business that takes him away. Situations that require the glacier. Moments when he has to choose between being human with her and being effective for his organization. One night he arrives at her apartment at 3 a.m. She's awake instantly. What happened? Nothing. Everything. I don't know. He sits on the edge of her bed. I had to make a decision tonight. A hard one. Someone betrayed the organization. Stole money. Put people at risk. What did you do? What I had to do. What I always do. I handled it. Simone sits up. Turns on the lamp. Studies his face. You killed him. It's not a question. Ji-hoon nods. Yes. Do you regret it? No. He made his choice. But I feel, I don't know, tired, empty, like I took a step backward into ice. She pulls him down beside her, wraps around him. You're not ice, Ji-hoon. You made a hard decision. That doesn't make you cold. It makes you human. Humans do difficult things to protect what matters. How do you always know what to say? I don't. I'm making this up as I go. But I know you. I know the difference between the man who handles business and the man who comes back to me. They're both you. Both real. He turns to face her. I don't want to lose this. Lose you. Lose the part of me that can feel. You won't. Not if you keep choosing to come back. Not if you keep letting me see you. All of you. They make love slowly. Carefully. Like they're memorizing each other. Afterward, Ji-hoon holds her and thinks about how strange it is. That violence and tenderness can exist in the same person. That he can be the glacier and still be soft with her. If you think love fixes everything, you'll hate where this is going. But keep watching. For months after they meet, Ji-hoon takes her to meet his family. His mother lives in Songbuk-dong. Traditional house. Traditional values. She's been asking to meet the woman who changed her son. She's going to hate me, Simone says in the car. She's going to love you. I'm not Korean. I'm not traditional. I'm a chef who works with her hands. You're the woman I love. That's all that matters. His mother opens the door before they knock. She's small, elegant, measuring. Her eyes take in everything. Simone's dark skin. Her confident posture. The way Ji-hoon stands close to her. Mother, this is Simone Adeyemi. Simone, my mother, Kim Mi-sun. Simone bows. Perfect form. It's an honor to meet you. His mother bows back. Then she smiles. The honor is mine. Come in. I've made tea. They sit in the traditional room. Low table. Cushions. Everything arranged with precision. Simone sits with perfect posture, hands folded. Ji-hoon watches her navigate his mother's careful questions. You're a chef? Yes. I run the kitchen at a restaurant in Itaewon. That must be difficult work. Long hours. It is. But I love it. Food is how I connect to my heritage. My grandmother's recipes. My mother's lessons. Something shifts in his mother's expression. Your mother. She passed. When I was young. Before I could learn everything I wanted from her. His mother nods slowly. I understand that loss. My own mother died when Ji-hoon was 10. There were so many things left unsaid. They talk for 2 hours. About food, about family, about the weight of carrying tradition forward. Ji-hoon watches Simone charm his mother without trying. Without pretending to be anything she's not. Just being honest. Open. Human. When they leave, his mother pulls him aside. She's good for you. I can see it in your face. You're alive again. I am. But be careful, my son. The world you live in doesn't forgive love. It uses it. Weaponizes it. I know. Do you? Because I lost your father to that world. I won't lose you too. Ji-hoon hugs her. You won't. I promise. In the car, Simone exhales. That went better than expected. She loved you. She tolerated me. There's a difference. Trust me. If she didn't love you, we wouldn't have stayed for tea. Simone laughs. Then her expression turns serious. Your father. You never talk about him. He died when I was 17. Heart attack. But really stress killed him. The business, the pressure, the constant fear. He built the organization, but it consumed him. Is that what you're afraid of? Being consumed. I was. Then I met you. Now I'm afraid of losing what we have. That's worse somehow. She takes his hand. Then we don't lose it. We fight for it. Every single day. 6 months in, the real test comes. A rival organization from Busan moves into Seoul. They're aggressive. Reckless. They don't respect the established order. And they target Ji-hoon specifically because he's seen as the weakest link. The man who fell in love. The glacier who melted. The first warning comes in the form of graffiti outside Simone's restaurant. Korean characters that translate simply, foreign bitches burn. Simone finds it when she arrives for morning prep. She stares at it for a long moment. Then she calls Ji-hoon. I need you to see something. He arrives within minutes. Sees the graffiti. His face goes cold. Pack a bag. You're staying at my place until this is handled. No. Simone, this isn't a request. And it's not your decision. She crosses her arms. I'm not running from some racist thugs who think they can scare me. Paint over it. Increase security if you want. But I'm not leaving my restaurant. They're not just racist thugs. They're Busan crew. They're dangerous. So are you. So am I. We don't run. Ji-hoon wants to argue. Wants to physically carry her to safety. But he sees the steel in her eyes. The same steel that made her walk through his crime scene 6 months ago. Fine. But you get a security detail. 2 of my best men. And you don't go anywhere without telling me. Deal. He has the graffiti removed within the hour. Assigns 2 men to watch the restaurant in shifts. But he knows this is just the beginning. Busan crew doesn't stop at graffiti. That night, they hit one of his gambling operations. Kill 2 of his men. Leave a message. The glacier is melting. Time for new blood. Ji-hoon calls an emergency meeting. All his lieutenants. 20 men gathered in the conference room. The tension is thick. Busan crew thinks I'm weak, Ji-hoon says without preamble. They think love made me soft. They're about to learn the difference between soft and strategic. What's the play, boss? Min-jae asks. Total war. We don't respond proportionally. We respond overwhelmingly. They killed 2 of ours. We dismantle their entire Seoul operation. Every business. Every safe house. every connection. We make them regret crossing into our territory. Youngwoo leans forward. Boss, that's a big escalation. That's starting a real war. They started it when they threatened what's mine. We're finishing it. Is this about business or the chef? Someone asks. Ji-hoon doesn't see who. Both. They're the same now. You touch my organization, you answer to me. You touch her, you die. Is that clear? The room nods. They've never seen the glacier like this. Cold and burning simultaneously. Controlled fury. Over the next week, Ji-hoon's organization goes to war. It's surgical. Precise. Devastating. They hit Busan operations across Seoul. No casualties when possible. Maximum economic damage always. Within 5 days, Busan crew has lost millions. Within 7, they're retreating. But retreating enemies are dangerous. Cornered animals lash out. Simone is closing the restaurant late one night. Her security detail is outside. She's doing final inventory in the back when she hears glass shatter in the dining room. Then voices. Korean spoken with Busan accents. She moves quickly. Grabs a knife from the block. Not to fight. To be ready. She texts Ji-hoon with her other hand. They're here. Then she hides in the walk-in freezer. Locks it from inside. Listens to them tear through the restaurant. Shouting. Breaking things. Looking for her. Where is she? Check the back. Find the bitch. Simone's breath comes in white clouds. The cold seeps through her chef's coat. She grips the knife. Thinks about her father bleeding out. Thinks about survival. Thinks about Ji-hoon and whether she'll see him again. The freezer door rattles. Someone's trying to force it. She backs into the corner. Raises the knife. If they get through, she'll fight. She survived Peckham. She'll survive this. Then gunshots. Shouting. The sounds of fighting. Silence. The freezer door opens. Ji-hoon stands there, gun in hand, blood splattered on his face. Not his blood. Behind him, 3 bodies on the kitchen floor. Her security detail standing over them. Simone. His voice breaks. The ice cracks completely. Are you hurt? She drops the knife. Runs to him. He catches her. Holds her so tight she can barely breathe. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have been here. Should have protected you better. You're here now. She pulls back. Looks at his face. The blood. The fear in his eyes. The complete absence of ice. Ji-hoon, I'm okay. I'm alive. If I'd lost you. He can't finish the sentence. You didn't. I'm right here. The police arrive. Ji-hoon has arrangements with certain officers. The story becomes simple. Robbery attempt. Self-defense. The bodies are removed. The restaurant is sealed as a crime scene. Simone gives her statement in shock blanket wrapped around her shoulders. Ji-hoon takes her to his penthouse. She's shaking. Not from cold. From adrenaline crash. He runs her a bath. Sits on the bathroom floor while she soaks in hot water, trying to warm the cold that settled in her bones. Talk to me, she says. Tell me something normal. Something human. When I was 8, I wanted to be a chef. She laughs. Unexpected. You're lying. I'm not. I watched my mother cook and thought it was magic. Turning raw ingredients into something that made people happy. I begged her to teach me. What happened? My father found out. Said cooking was women's work. Said I needed to learn the business. So I did. But sometimes I still wonder what would have happened if I'd chosen differently. You'd have been a terrible chef. Too controlling. Probably. But I'd have been happy. Simone looks at him. Really looks. Are you happy now? With you? Yes. With everything else? I don't know. Tonight scared me, Simone. More than anything in years. I can handle threats to myself. I can't handle threats to you. So what do we do? I end this. Completely. Busan crew doesn't just retreat. They disappear. And after that? After all your enemies know I'm your weakness. Ji-hoon stands. Kneels beside the tub. Takes her hand. Then they also know I'll destroy anyone who touches you. That's not weakness. That's the most dangerous thing about me. She brings his hand to her lips. Kisses his knuckles. I knew what I was getting into. I chose you anyway. You can still change your mind. Go back to London. Start over somewhere safe. Is that what you want? No. God no. I want you here. With me. Always. But I want you alive more. Then make sure I stay alive. Make sure we both do. Because I'm not leaving you, Ji-hoon. Not for Busan crew. Not for anyone. They spend the night wrapped around each other. Not making love. Just holding on. Two people who survived another day in a world that keeps trying to tear them apart. The next morning, Ji-hoon makes the call. The one he's been avoiding. He contacts the Busan leadership directly. Requests a sit-down. Neutral territory. Just the bosses. Min-jae thinks he's insane. Boss, they'll kill you. Or try to. Let them try. But this ends today. One way or another. The meeting happens in a warehouse in Yongsan. Neutral ground monitored by third parties. Ji-hoon arrives with Min-jae and Youngwoo. Busan sends 3 men. Their leader is Choi Daeung. Older. Scarred. Dangerous. They sit across from each other at a metal table. You wanted to talk, Choi says. Talk. You came to Seoul thinking I was weak. That love made me vulnerable. You were wrong. You've been distracted. Soft. Everyone knows it. I've been strategic. There's a difference. But you're right about one thing. I have something to lose now. That doesn't make me weak. It makes me absolutely ruthless about protecting it. Choi leans back. So what? You threaten me? You've already destroyed half my Seoul operations. That was a warning. This is the threat. Ji-hoon's voice drops. Cold. Final. You leave Seoul. You leave my organization alone. And most importantly, you forget that woman exists. In exchange, I let you rebuild what I destroyed. I don't pursue you to Busan. We never speak again. And if I refuse, then I don't stop at your Seoul operations. I burn everything. Your businesses in Busan. Your connections. Your family. Everything you've built over 30 years. I salt the earth so thoroughly that your name becomes a warning story. The room goes silent. Choi studies Ji-hoon. Looking for bluff. Finding only certainty. You'd start a war over a woman? I'd end a war over her. That's the difference. Choi looks at his men. Then back at Ji-hoon. You really love her that much? More than I thought possible to love anything. Something shifts in Choi's expression. Almost respect. I had a wife once. Lost her to this life. I understand what you're protecting. Then we have an understanding? Choi extends his hand. We do. But Kang, if you ever show real weakness, I won't be so generous. I won't. They shake. The war ends as quickly as it started. Busan crew pulls out of Seoul within 48 hours. The territory stabilizes. And Ji-hoon goes home to Simone. She's at the restaurant. It reopened after 2 days of cleaning and repairs. She's in the kitchen working on new menu items. Testing recipes. When she sees him, she sets down her spoon. It's done, he says. Done. They're gone. It's over. She crosses the kitchen. Pulls him into the storage room. Locks the door. Then she kisses him hard. Desperate. Relieved. I was terrified, she admits against his lips. That you'd die. That they'd kill you for me. I was terrified you'd leave. That you'd decide this life isn't worth it. It's worth it. You're worth it. She pulls back. But Ji-hoon, we can't keep doing this. Living crisis to crisis. War to war. We need something more stable. What do you suggest? I don't know. But I need to know this is going somewhere. That we're building toward something. Not just surviving. He cups her face. Marry me. The words surprise them both. Simone's eyes widen. What? Marry me. I know it's fast. I know it's insane. But I've never been more certain of anything. I want you in my life permanently. Officially. I want the world to know you're mine and I'm yours. That's the most unromantic proposal I've ever heard. I'll do it again. With a ring. With romance. But the answer stays the same. Marry me, Simone. She laughs. Tears streaming down her face. You're impossible. Is that a yes? That's a yes to thinking about it. Ask me again in 3 months. With a ring. With romance. And if you're still this certain, I'll say yes. I'll be certain. Then ask me right. 3 months later. Ji-hoon takes her to Namsan Tower at sunset. He's arranged for them to be alone at the top. Seoul spreads below them. Infinite lights in gathering darkness. He gets down on one knee. Pulls out a ring he spent 2 months designing. Black diamonds surrounded by smaller white ones. Unique. Like her. Simone Adeyemi. You walked into my life when I was frozen. Dead inside. You demanded I feel things. Be human. Be honest. You've challenged me, frustrated me, terrified me, and made me happier than I thought possible. I love you with everything I am and everything I'm becoming. Will you marry me? She looks at the ring. At him. At the city they claim together. Yes. Yes to all of it. To the danger and the love and the impossible life we're building. Yes. He slides the ring on her finger. Kisses her as the sun sets over Seoul. And for the first time in years, Ji-hoon Kang feels like he's exactly where he's supposed to be. Not despite the danger. Not despite the complications. But because of them. Because he chose love over ice. Chose feeling over numbness. Chose her over everything. The wedding happens 4 months later. Small ceremony. His mother. Her friends from the restaurant. His closest lieutenants who've become family. They marry in a traditional Korean ceremony followed by a Nigerian blessing. Mixing their worlds. Honoring both. Simone wears white hanbok embroidered with gold. African patterns woven into Korean tradition. She's the most beautiful thing Ji-hoon has ever seen. When she walks toward him, he feels his eyes burn. The glacier crying. Melting completely. They exchange vows. His in Korean. Hers in English. Promises to love through danger. To be honest through fear. To choose each other every single day. I, Ji-hoon Kang, take you, Simone Adeyemi, as my wife. My partner. My fire. I promise to be human with you. To let you see me completely. To protect what we're building. To never let ice win again. I, Simone Adeyemi, take you, Ji-hoon Kang, as my husband. My partner. My home. I promise to be brave with you. To challenge you when you need it. To hold you when the world gets cold. To never let you forget you're allowed to feel. They kiss as husband and wife. The room erupts in applause. His mother is crying. Min-jae is grinning. And Ji-hoon thinks about how strange life is. How 3 years of nothing led to this moment of everything. The reception is at Simone's restaurant. She closes it for the night. Transforms it into celebration. Nigerian food meets Korean tradition. Jollof rice and bulgogi. Puff puff and tteokbokki. Music that makes people dance. Joy that fills every corner. Ji-hoon watches his wife move through the crowd. Greeting guests. Laughing with friends. Being completely herself. And he realizes this is what he's been protecting. Not just her. But this. The possibility of joy. The permission to be human. The courage to love despite everything. You did good, boss, Min-jae says, appearing beside him with drinks. She's perfect for you. I know. You worried? About bringing her deeper into this life. Every day. But I'm more worried about life without her. That's love, I guess. Being more afraid of loneliness than danger. That's exactly what it is. Later, when the guests have left and they're alone in the empty restaurant, Simone finds him at their table. The same table where he first sat 6 months ago. Where everything started. What are you thinking? She asks. That I'm grateful. For you. For this. For the fact that you walked through my crime scene and didn't run. I'm grateful too. That you came back. That you let me see you. That you chose feeling over ice. He pulls her into his lap. I love you, Mrs. Kang. I love you too, Mr. Adeyemi Kang. We're hyphenating. We are. We are. This is partnership. Equal. Both our names. Both our worlds. Ji-hoon laughs. Whatever you want. I want this. Every day. The danger and the joy and the impossible balance. I want you human and cold and everything in between. I want the life we're building even though it scares me. It scares me too. Good. Then we're in this together. They sit in the empty restaurant. Husband and wife. Fire and ice. Two people who found each other in violence and chose love instead. Who learned that melting isn't weakness. That feeling is the bravest thing. That sometimes the coldest men just need someone warm enough to reach them. This is how the story ends. Not with certainty. Not with safety. But with choice, Ji-hoon Kang chose to feel again. Simone Adeyemi chose to love despite danger. And together they built something impossible. Something real. Something that proves glaciers can melt without breaking. That fire can warm without burning. That love is worth every risk when you find the right person. Outside, Seoul hums with life. Inside, two survivors hold each other and dare to believe in tomorrow. In the fragile, fierce thing they've created. In the promise that as long as they choose each other, the ice will never win again. And somewhere in the city, in kitchens and bedrooms and quiet moments between chaos, other couples make the same choice. To be brave. To be human. To build love in the middle of danger and call it home. This is the story of Ji-hoon and Simone. The glacier and the fire. The man who forgot how to feel and the woman who remembered for him. This is what happens when you stop running from warmth. When you let someone see you completely. When you discover that the most dangerous thing isn't love itself, but living without it. They say the coldest men are the ones who love too hard once. But they never mention what happens when those men learn to love again. When ice meets fire and instead of destroying each other, they create something new. Something beautiful. Something worth every scar. If you stayed till the end, you understand that real love isn't about safety. It's about choosing someone every day despite the danger. Hit subscribe if you want more stories where love isn't easy but it's real. Comment below and tell me. Would you choose love over safety? Would you melt for the right person? Share this with someone who believes in love that burns. Because this is what real romance looks like. Not perfect. Not safe. Just honest, fierce, and absolutely worth it.